Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, the interior is essentially gutted once again. The reason for that is because I am prepping to have the tunnel welded, so I had to do a few things. So first off, I sanded off the floors. I did a coating of rust converter just to make sure all the rust that was in there is going to stop. Now it's ready for paint. I finally got these holes cut out, which, let's see if I can zoom in and show you what's going on. I now have access to the transmission bolts on both sides. So I have not seen anybody else do that, so I don't know how they're getting their transmissions out. I'm using this little plug here. It's a firewall plug from a 1973 Ford F100, and a little expensive because I had to order from the States. I put some heat shielding on the bottom, so those just go into each side there. Speaking of heat shield, I did pull the tunnel out. I painted it and lined it with a heat shield. Now I'm using two different kinds of heat shields. So first is this product right here from DEI. It has a very smooth surface and it's very, very thin. And then this is from Billet Thermal Technologies or whatever. This is a little thicker and it has a fiberglass backing to it. So I think this has a slightly better, I guess, thermal protection, but the DEI stuff is more reflective. Also, this is a little bit thicker. So anyways, I have put some of this heat shielding on right here because there was a lot of heat coming through the small, gaps around the shift boot. So I just kind of try to seal it up, and then there's enough flex in here that it still moves around and it isn't going to cut anything. So that's good. But yeah, so now this thing's all prepped and ready for welding because I sanded it all in and grinded the metal down. So I have an appointment in a couple days to get that done, and then I can go ahead and paint the floor up and finish putting in the carpet, and then we are essentially done. So stay tuned. So as you can see, I have the transmission tunnel all welded up and seam sealed. I've also painted the floor black. So now I am ready to put my Dynamat type product, which I am using the Thermotech Supersonic Heat and Acoustic Control, part number 14620. I've read this is pretty much equally as good as Dynamat, but quite a bit cheaper. So we're gonna go with that. Also, I read that you do not need to cover the entire floor and every joint or whatever with this Dynamat kind of product to get a reasonable, reduction in sound and noise. So all I'm going to do is put some patches around underneath the seat. I am going to completely cover the transmission tunnel because I want the noise of the clutch and transmission to be reduced as much as possible. And yeah, there's no, I guess, great way to do it. Perhaps make some templates out of cardboard or whatever and then just throw them down. But anyways, I'll get to it and I'll show you what it looks like all completed. So there's the sound deadener installed. You can see I put more towards the driver's side than the passenger side. And that's what I meant by just putting little patches around just to try to keep the vibration and harmonics down. You can also see I put it more towards the center of the console because that's where the heat source is. And also the sound source from the transmission, clutch, and exhaust. So do I expect a big difference? Well, not night and day, but when you add the carpet into there, it should make a bit of a difference. Now, speaking of carpet, I completely expect to modify the carpet because obviously the console or the tunnel is much bigger, and then I have my little shifter plate there. So it is what it is, and I might as well get to it, and then I'll be pretty close to being done. So here we go. Well, it's been a long time since my last recording of some footage. I apologize for that, hence the reason why it's been so long since I've uploaded a video. But the reason is I've had some problems, one of which is the carpet. Now you can see I do have it loosely installed, but it doesn't really fit, especially around the tunnel. The new tunnel is just too big, and down in the corners it doesn't fit in snug, and it kind of binds a little bit with the pedal. It's even worse on this side. So I've went to an upholsterer, and they said that there's really no way to fix it properly, that I may have to get a whole custom carpet. I'm going to talk to another one. Unfortunately, they've been on vacation until, well, right about now. so I have to go in there and talk to him. You can see my, console plate is missing. The reason for that is because I've taken it to a shop to get anodized, because the aluminum just scratched and got dirty way too easily. I hated it, so finish it up and that'll be durable. I also made a piece that I can then attach a boot to, because I'm sick of looking at this little ugly piece. So I can get that done. That again is going to be custom, unfortunately, which is going to cost a few bucks. I don't know if I can do it myself, but I doubt it. So we got to take it in for that. You can see the top dash. I have not put the dash pad on because up in that corner somewhere there's a freaking noise that when I'm on the highway it rattles, and it's always done it, and I gotta figure out what's doing that while I have it apart. So one of the issues that I had to address was the drive shaft hit the floor. So I only hit it a couple of times, but it is loud. So if you're ever wondering if your drive shaft is hitting the floor, believe me, you will know. So to fix it, I had to go under the car, remove the drive shaft, and beat the floor a bit, just to gain about an eighth to a quarter of an inch of clearance. And then I then had to build some brackets which bolt to the transmission cross member, which bolt to the cross member bracket slash frame, which bolts to the actual car frame, all in the hope to reduce the amount of flex to keep it from actually hitting on the floor. So far it seems to be working, as I haven't had it hit the floor since. Another thing that went wrong was when I had the tunnel welded, it actually melted the vent tube of the transmission. Now, immediately that caused a blockage and the transmission started to leak. Now, it may have leaked already before, but it really leaked once the vent tube was clogged. So I fixed the vent tube, and it didn't fix the leak. I found the leak was coming out from the speedometer gear, and really it's like an adapter tube that goes in, and then my Dakota Digital gauge cluster system has an adapter that goes onto that. From what I could tell, the leak was actually coming from the Dakota Digital adapter. So I removed that, I put a bigger, thicker gasket in there, cinched down really tight, and then I put a 3/4 inch O-ring around the bullet, that speedometer gear bullet, and the leak seems to be fixed, so I'm happy about that. As for the transmission, well, there is some clutch chatter. When I first installed it, it was butter smooth. I couldn't believe it, but it has gained a little clutch chatter, and it's getting progressively worse. I think a lot of that is due to just the more material onto the friction discs and friction surfaces, and most of it can be fixed by just driving slightly differently. I do have to typically launch a little higher RPM now, which isn't a big deal. Plus, it's a lighter flywheel and clutch assembly than before, so I guess that's to be expected. The shifts are great. I love the internal rail shifter transmission deal. It is awesome. The overdrive is wonderful. I haven't done much on the highway, but so far my best tank of gas is 13.3 miles per gallon, which I know is not that impressive, but it's still about 2 miles per gallon better than I usually get. But granted, that's still mostly city driving because I had to put the miles to the clutch. Am I as fast as shifting? No, but yeah, it's still not bad. Anyways, let's have a little fun. around, 60, 65 miles an hour at about 1800, 1900 RPMs. So that's always been good. Loving the shifter. The clutch seems pretty good, seems strong, but I've only just now started to get in on it. Say is that it definitely feels more jerky when I let out the clutch. When the clutch grabs, it grabs hard. So probably going to be harder on parts. I'm hoping I don't break something, but you never really know. Another great thing is my dash. I absolutely love it. It's getting a little dark out here. The dash is lit up. You can see everything. Probably one of the best things I ever bought. Well guys, that's it for the drive, and it's getting pretty dark out here. So if you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe if you'd like to see some more. I think it's time to eat these Lexuses. It's time to go. So, thumbs up guys. Have a good one. Thanks for watching.